Last Saturday, Yusei Kikuchi gave up 7 earned runs on 2 home runs. It was his second straight game of allowing at least 5 earned runs. As far as I'm concerned, Kikuchi was every bit as deserving of his pummelings as the box scores suggest. Against the Yankees, he was missing more than a tick off his fastball. On Saturday, he threw plenty of strikes, but he got torched on his 4-seam fastball and cutter. Consider Kikuchi's raw slider pitch count since 2019. One thing to note is that Kikuchi's slider from 2019 is what we now call his cutter. So, although the graph says otherwise, this is hugely unprecedented. In its current form, Kikuchi has barely thrown his slider more than 20 times in a game. On Saturday, he pushed that up to over 30 times. I don't know what got into him, but I imagine it has to be conscious on some level. Perhaps he recognized that his slider is his best pitch. There's a way Kikuchi can deploy his current cutter for it to be more effective. But I'm not here to talk about that. At least not today. I want to make it painfully clear how much Kikuchi is leaving on the table by not using his slider as best as he can. I did some of that the last time I wrote about Kikuchi, but I want to hammer it home. Kikuchi's slider heat map doesn't look like that of a typical whiff pitch. Kikuchi uses his slider like a get-me-over pitch, and it's not. There's no reason to throw it in the zone as he does when he gets hitters to chase sliders out of the zone at a 46.0% clip. That makes it one of the best chase pitches from any starting pitcher. He struggles to command it at times, but he should be able to keep it at or below the bottom of the zone much more than he does. By tossing sliders in the zone, he's allowing too many balls into play, and he's missing out on a lot of strikes. To illustrate where Kikuchi's slider produces swings and misses, here's a heat map of his slider's whiffs. This is pretty much the direct opposite of his slider's location heat map. Swinging strikes aren't the only way to throw earned strikes, but a buried slider for a ball is often a better outcome than a slider in the zone that's put into play. When Kikuchi throws his slider in the zone, it gets put into play 35.1% of the time. That's really high. When it's out of the zone, his ball in play percentage drops to a mere 8.6%. Now, Kikuchi may have thrown his slider more on Saturday, but he's still filling up the zone with them. The next change he needs to make is getting them below the plate. Especially because his fastball characteristics appear to be declining. Like most pitchers, Kikuchi has seen a dip in spin rate ever since the foreign substance memo. Theoretically, less raw spin on his fastball should translate to less ride, and that's what's happened. His fastball ride has been reduced significantly over the course of the year. Despite better velocity than in 2019, Kikuchi's fastball ride has dropped all the way down to 2019 levels. In part due to his velocity, he's been able to get away with a worsened fastball that's hemorrhaged an inch of fastball ride. Despite all of this, I don't find raw spin to be the most compelling factor here. Raw fastball spin is one of the indicators that will dictate if a fastball has a lot of ride, or carry. But what also matters is active spin, i.e., spin efficiency. And Kikuchi hasn't been spinning the ball as efficiently. For full transparency, these numbers are derived from an estimation formula. Hawkeye take note of Kikuchi's vertical release point, plotted by game, which you may notice closely corresponds with his decreased fastball ride and active spin. Although I went in with the presumption that dropping his arm slot has added more gyro spin to his fastball, I was shocked to find how closely they correlated. Even though it's intuitive, I've never seen anything like it, at least in my baseball research. That makes for a clear takeaway. Kikuchi needs to raise his arm slot again if he wants to regain his fastball ride and active spin.